Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
The Martin Luther King Jr. holiday celebrates the life and legacy of a man who brought hope, healing to America.
We commemorate as well the timeless values he taught us through his example. The values of courage,
truth,
justice,
compassion,
dignity,
humility,
and service that so radiantly defined Dr. King's character and empowered his leadership.
On this holiday, we commemorate the universal, unconditional love, forgiveness, and nonviolence that empowered his revolutionary spirit. Coretta Scott King. St. John African Methodist Episcopal Church throughout the years has played a significant role through its partnership with the city of Worthington to celebrate Dr. King's legacy. Our presentation highlights St. John AME Church, the Worthington Human Relations Council, Alice P. Franklin Scholarship Trust, the Worthington Community Relations Commission, and many others who were drum majors of this change. March on Washington, August 28, 1963. Dr. King delivers I Have a Dream speech to 200,000 people.
The King holiday honors the life and contributions of America's greatest champion of racial justice and equality, the leader who not only dreamed of a colorblind society, but who also led a movement that achieved historic reforms to help make it a reality. Coretta Scott King. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. Dr. Martin Luther King.
The African American experience in Worthington has embodied Dr. King's dream of a colorblind society, as the relationship between blacks and whites has traditionally been a good one. Many of the oldest homes in the village include passageways and tunnels believed to be tracks of the Underground Railroad. Escaping slaves passed through Franklin County, Columbus, Clintonville, and the Worthington area on their way to the Flint Road area and beyond. Since the origin of Worthington in 1803, all churches of all historical denominations have opened their doors to African Americans and other minorities.
History weaves a rich tapestry of events and individuals shaping the community. Generations after generations of families have remained in Worthington, continuing the legacy of hard work, of striving to achieve a good education, and of contributing to the community's worth. Janet A. Pearl, Salt of the Earth. Pictured are Mrs. Matthews, Mrs. Payne, Sarah Frances Lee, Jefferson Fulton, Minnie Fulton, and John Kendall Lee. John Kendall Lee, wife Sarah, and their children lived for many years in the Worthington area during the 1910s and 1920s. Lee family places of residence included North Street and Morning Street in Worthington, as well as Linworth. Many of the Lee children attended schools in Worthington.
African Americans have been noted to own property in Worthington as early as the mid-1800s, as early as April 1856. It is noted that Henry and Dolly Turk had become the first African American families to own their home in Worthington on West New England Avenue. Mr. and Mrs. Oscar Wingo and the family grew vegetables, fruit, and livestock. They sold their farm products throughout the area.
One of the early African-American entrepreneurs of the area was Mr. Squire Thomas Todd. His business was located on the lot that currently houses the U.S. Bank in the central part of the community. He was the owner and operator of the Worthington Feed and Transport Company. Mr. Todd opened the doors to his feed and grain store in 1914 and later expanded his business to a moving company. The church played a very vital role in the life of African Americans in Worthington. As the population grew, the people felt the need for a church of their own. Around 1890, small worship services were held in various places that moved from house to house.
Mrs. Millie Alton, a local resident, sold the growing church a lot in 1897 for $50, and a building was moved there to become the church building. To secure a minister, the worshippers had to affiliate with an organized group. They chose the AME group founded by Richard Allen and christened their facility St. John AME Church in 1896. In 1914, St. John African Methodist Episcopal Church was erected on Plymouth Street.
Founders of St. John AME Church, Mrs. Addie Banks, daughter of Peter Banks, Fredonia Tavern Cartier, and Hayes Tavern.
During the 1940s and the 1950s, Worthington grew and resembled a suburban retreat compared to the city of Columbus. The practice of redlining served as an obstacle to African Americans' ability to purchase homes. The housing receptivity for integration and acceptance for diversity was stifled. However, there were individuals within the Worthington community who fought housing discrimination. Reverend and Mrs. Harold Jones were two people who helped to form the Worthington Human Relations Council in 1963.
The Worthington Human Relations Council, comprised of both whites and African Americans who lived within the community, acted as an organization to fight the hidden efforts that tended to set barriers to open housing and community participation. In addition to housing, the WHRC was involved in employment and education.
This full-page advertisement of the Worthington Human Relations Council appeared in Worthington News, December 24, 1964. Promotion of equal opportunity for use and ownership of real estate was one of the council's goals.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was the subject of a contentious debate in the Senate, but was passed quickly by the House of Representatives in the days after the assassination of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. The act stands as the final great legislative achievement of the Civil Rights era.
1969, Negro History Week is celebrated at St. John AME Church. Their pastor, Vance Milligan, states, "I believe God planned his world whereby all men can live together as brothers. America must integrate or it will annihilate. We cannot survive as a nation within a nation, each nation completely separate and going its own way. I say to the community of Worthington and all of America, let us move forward with brotherhood."
Worthington Mayor James Lorimer proclaims February 9th through February 16th of 1969 as Negro History Week.
In 1981, Dr. Alice P. Franklin organized the first observance of Dr. King's birth celebration in the city of Worthington. This first celebration was held at St. John AME Church under the pastorship of Reverend James A. Tate. Through the Alice P. Franklin Scholarship Trust, scholarships were awarded to students based on their scholastics and community service.
In 1987, Dr. Alice P. Franklin and representatives from local churches established the first Worthington community-wide service to honor Dr. King. This service was held at the Evangelical All Saints Lutheran Church. Lawrence Braun, mayor of Worthington, proclaims January 19th as MLK Day in the city.
The campaign for a federal holiday in King's honor began after the assassination in 1968. President Ronald Reagan signed the holiday into law in 1983, and it was first observed on January 20th, 1986. The MLK holiday was officially observed in all 50 states for the first time in the year of 2000.
In 1991, the Worthington Human Relations Council was absorbed by the city of Worthington and was renamed the Worthington Community Relations Commission. The Community Relations Commission advised the city council and city staff on community issues related to fair and equal treatment for all persons. The CRC hosts the annual community celebration of the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. by coordinating a program that combines an inspiring speaker with spiritual song and dance.
The Worthington Community Relations Commission's top 3 goals are 1. Providing conflict resolution and mediation service to residents. 2. Promoting cultural sensitivity in the business community. 3. Developing a system of gathering and communicating information. The King holiday honors the life and contributions of America's greatest champion of racial justice and equality. The leader who not only dreamed of a colorblind society, but who also led a movement that achieved historic reforms to help make it a reality.
On this day, we commemorate Dr. King's great dream of a vibrant, multiracial nation united in justice, peace, and reconciliation. a nation that has a place at the table for children of every race and room at the inn for every needy child. We are called on this holiday not merely to honor, but to celebrate the values of equality, tolerance, and interracial sister and brotherhood he so compellingly expressed in his great dream for America.
It is a day of interracial and intercultural cooperation and sharing. No other day of the year brings so many people from different culture backgrounds together in such a vibrant spirit of brother and sisterhood. Whether you are African American, Hispanic, or Native American, whether you are Caucasian or Asian American, you are part of a great dream that Martin Luther King had for America. This is not a black holiday, it's a people's holiday. And it is the young people of all races and religions who hold the keys to fulfillment of his dream. Coretta Scott King.
St. John AME Church has worked collaboratively with the Worthington Community Relations Commission's King Day celebration through music and the visual arts.
For many years, Worthington school children have published books honoring Dr. King.
Essays and artwork embodying the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King are shared with the public. This piece of artwork was submitted by Alyssa Buck, 8th grade, Worthingway Middle School. Nathan Kellenberger, principal. Michelle Charity, teacher.
We call you to commemorate this holiday by making your personal commitment to serve humanity with the vibrant spirit of unconditional love that was his greatest strength and which empowered all of the great victories of his leadership.
And with our hearts open to the spirit of unconditional love, we can indeed achieve the beloved community of Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream.
May we, who follow Martin now, pledge to serve humanity, promote his teaching, and carry forward his legacy into the 21st century.
Coretta Scott King.